And streaming on crossroadstoday.com. The fight over congressional redistricting continues as Governor Greg Abbott issues new threats to fleeing lawmakers. And Americans are stressing out about one essential as prices continue to rise. The cause of stress as Americans watch their wallets. That's just ahead. Plus, the airport seeing delays in construction. The cause might surprise you.
And high pressure returning over us is going to bring back that summer sun, to bring back that summer heat, and it's also going to bring us a chance for some summer sea breeze showers. We'll have all that weather coming up.
And Victoria West football seeks revenge here in the 2025 season. We'll highlight West's day one of two-a-days practice later on in sport.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. So I've got to clarify, today is National Oyster Day, but oyster season in Texas doesn't start till November 1st.
Oh,
so that's all part of conservation efforts to make sure we don't overfish our oysters.
interesting. I wonder why that is.
Well, exactly that. For environmental reasons, to make sure we don't run out of oysters and exhaust our oyster beds.
You know me, Carolyn, I'm thinking about it in the weather sense of things. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with the waters and the water temperatures, because it is plenty warm down there. And then exactly that's bringing us another warm and humid morning. And actually, it is humid enough. If you look real closely on your screen, you can see a little bit of what I've been talking about all morning long. Very, very light fog underneath a very pretty sunrise, I should say. Got some pretty colors out there, pink and blue. But like I've been saying, temperature is still very, very slowly falling down to the dew point of 70 degrees. We're at 71 right now, bringing humidity to 96%, which is enough to see fog, and it's not enough for the fog map to report on it just yet. But you did just see on the camera, we have a little bit, so just be careful if you see any denser fog this morning. It will clear up over the next hour or so to some mostly sunny skies today. That's thanks to high pressure over New Mexico, bringing us that dry air out of the mountains. But in the afternoon, we're going to have a sea breeze like we usually do in the summertime. That'll bring us some afternoon shower chances. So if you're headed out the door, grab those sunglasses and maybe an umbrella. We'll have all the details coming up next.
There's a major escalation in a political battle across the state over redistricting. During a session of the Texas State House, civil arrest warrants were issued against Democrats who are trying to block a redistricting push that could shape the balance of power in Washington for years to come. Democratic lawmakers skipped town over the weekend in order to deny Republicans the chance to bring up a vote regarding the redrawing of the state's congressional lines in the GOP's favor. The Democratic lawmakers face mounting fines and threats to be removed from office. After Abbott issues the arrest warrants, a large group of protesters gathered outside the governor's mansion Monday evening. A Democratic Congressman, Greg Casar, organized what he described as an emergency march and picket in support of democracy. The picketers waving signs and chanting as they walked in front of the governor's mansion. The Victoria City Council is officially kicking off the budget process. At tonight's meeting, they'll take a look at the proposed tax rate and set dates for public hearings on the budget and schedule when to vote on adopting the new rate for the upcoming fiscal year. Also on the agenda, a public hearing on whether to put a collective bargaining item for the Victoria Fire Department on the November ballot. And now to the economy and those rising prices stressing out families across the country. ABC's Lionel Moise has the latest.
This morning, Americans are feeling the strain of higher prices on everyday items.
The prices seems to go up every week, every month.
The price is killing me. Instead of saving money in my bank account, I'm using it in groceries.
A new poll finds 53% of Americans say the cost of groceries is a major source of stress for them right now.
One thing that really stands out in the data is that only 14% of Americans say the cost of groceries is not a source of stress for them right now.
And 4 in 10 people under age 45 say they're using buy now, pay later services to cover essentials like groceries and medical care. Many are looking for new ways to save. This mom connecting with the so-called crazy coupon lady. Some of her tips: eliminate grocery delivery services, buy in bulk for staple items, and use your grocery store's app for added savings.
We actually think that you can lower your expense by $350 a month or $4,200 a year.
With President Trump's trade war ramping up, new tariffs are set to go into effect. Economists say prices will likely keep rising on everything from produce to electronics and cars. Despite Friday's jobs report showing a substantial slowdown in the labor market, stocks bounced back yesterday thanks to encouraging corporate earnings and investors anticipating an interest rate cut next month. President Trump has said the tariffs will boost U.S. manufacturing and add billions to the U.S. Treasury, but concerns about higher costs have some families racing to finish back-to-school shopping early. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Victoria College's Board of Trustees proposed a property tax rate increase during a special meeting Monday afternoon. The board proposed a property tax rate of 18.32 cents per $100 of taxable valuation, and the current rate for VC is 17.09 cents per $100 of valuation. The board will host a public hearing on the proposed tax rate during a special meeting Monday, August 11th, in the academic building at VC's main campus. After the public hearing, the board will vote to adopt a 2025-2026 tax rate and operating budget. Victoria Airport officials say parked cars are delaying the start of construction work. The airport director shared the urgent need for the owners to remove their parked vehicles at Monday's Victoria County Commissioners Court meeting, saying there are about 10 to 15 vehicles parked in the airport parking lot. The airport will be temporarily closing the runway through September 4th for construction, so there are no commercial flights available in or out of the Victoria Regional Airport until after construction is complete. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It is 6:37 on our Tuesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. A Crossroads community is getting recognized for something special. Hear how local leaders are celebrating.
This morning, the Texas governor is threatening to arrest Democratic lawmakers who left the state to delay a controversial redistricting vote. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details and how other states are responding.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, you heard me say we have rain chances again for today. So coming up next, I'll tell you just when I think the rain will get here. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Tuesday. I hope everybody is all safe and sound after yesterday's storms, that line of storms that we had blowing through with winds at 40 to 50 miles an hour. Even some of us seeing some very, very small hail, but definitely some moderate lightning activity, bringing us some widespread power outages. But what you're looking at right now is yesterday's radar loop. Something I want to show you about this very interesting storm complex is that this complex, it's called an MCS, a mesoscale convective system, and it started all the way up in Kansas. And it went all the way through the Oklahoma and Texas Panhandle, went through the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, and it even went into Houston and into the Crossroads as we went into early yesterday afternoon. It was a bit of a story when we went out there, but it was very nice, I should say, afterwards because temperatures dropped to the low 70s. I think a lot of y'all could say the same. But looking at yesterday's rainfall totals, I'm going to go ahead and say the average range was about 1/4 of an inch all the way to 3/4 of an inch. And the same thing is consistent with Victoria County. But some of us saw as high as 2.65 inches. And that happened over there in southeastern Matagorda County. But for today, we're going to have another 30%. It's going to be lower than yesterday's 50%, 40%, 42.50. But today's 30% is going to go for maybe a few isolated showers, non-severe thunderstorms forming around Highway 59 counties and southward towards the coast after 1 p.m. and extending up until about 6 or 7 p.m. because everybody else that doesn't see rain today, it's going to be mostly sunny in the background to heat us up to the mid-90s before later this week we're in the upper 90s and we need to look at the tropics. That's coming up next.
Happy Tuesday morning here, Crossroads. Yesterday officially started the first day of Texas high school football two-a-days across the entire state, and we had multiple teams practicing weather in the morning, and some teams practicing in the evening time, trying to beat that afternoon heat, as we know. here in Texas. But one team that practiced there in the evening will be throughout this whole week there is Victoria West Warriors, who last season reached the regional semifinals before losing to the Bernie Greyhounds there 50-12. So with that loss in their mind, the Warriors this season return back top wide receiver targeting Tristan Bernard and then high volume running back in Genesis Jeffries. And West head coach Courtney Boyce and running back Jeffries are pumped for this season and believe they can make a deep run to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while since we've had pads on, so we'll be eager to get that going, come the end of this week. And, but it's been a good summer. Guys are in shape. Really good conditioning test today. Excited to see the numbers. A lot of guys are out here being, enthusiastic and ready to go.
We depend on our defense last year, and I feel like we're going to be able to do the same this year. Offense can make mistakes, and we'll know the defense will be able to pick it up.
I also talked with star wide receiver Tristan Bernard as well, and he mentioned that he thinks he can get a lot more involved in the offensive game plan this season. So I can't wait to see what that kind of entails for Bernard. And again, they're going to start the season for the Warriors on the road versus the Lockhart Lions. I'll start on August 29th. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. Stream our daily newscast and much more using your connected TV. You can find it on your Roku, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, or Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. This morning, the governor is now threatening to arrest Democratic state lawmakers who left the state to delay a controversial redistricting vote. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the latest.
This morning, a deepening standoff in Texas as Governor Greg Abbott threatens to arrest any Democratic lawmaker who left the state to block a vote on redrawing congressional maps that favor Republicans.
He has no legal mechanism. And if he did, subpoenas from Texas don't work in New York.
Critics argue redrawing the state's congressional map could give the GOP 5 new seats in next year's midterm elections, a move that's been pushed by President Trump.
Are you calling in for a complete redrawing of the congressional map?
No, it's just a very simple redrawing. We pick up 5 seats.
In total, more than 50 Democratic lawmakers have left the state. They argue this plan breaks tradition and targets minority communities, but the governor pushing back.
These districts are going to show that Hispanics and blacks, as well as others, are voting for Republican, and Republican is their candidate of choice, and we will ensure that will be achieved at the congressional level in the state of Texas.
Meanwhile, other states are now threatening to do the same. Democratic governors in California and New York are threatening to change their congressional districts to retaliate against Texas.
And I have news flash for Republicans in Texas. This is no longer the Wild West. We're not going to tolerate our democracy being stolen in a modern-day stagecoach hoist by a bunch of law-breaking cowboys.
As the politics plays out, one Texas state representative argues the focus should be on the victims of the deadly 4th of July floods.
We were supposed to talk about the flooding. Today is the 1-month anniversary of that catastrophic flood. And instead, what did House Republicans put on the debate for today? They put redistricting. They're putting power over people.
2 congressional Republicans from New York and California, both of whom would be impacted, are proposing separate bills that would place limits on redistricting. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, do you support the arrest of fleeing lawmakers? 45% of you say yes, and 55% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. Governor Greg Abbott is congratulating the city of Hallettsville for earning a tourism-friendly Texas certified community designation. The recognition comes from Travel Texas and highlights the city's efforts to grow tourism, boost the local economy, and create jobs. The Hallettsville Chamber of Commerce and city leaders say they're proud to promote the area's heritage, festivals, and small-town charm. A Ganado woman is celebrating her 96th birthday surrounded by those she loves the most. 25 News Now reporter Ray Mosley spoke with her and those that are very close to her.
Surrounded by laughter, love, and a whole lot of joy, Clara Gutierrez is celebrating her 96th birthday at the Ganado Nursing and Rehabilitation Center, exactly where she wants to be. Clara says the staff feels like family. After helping her bounce back to good health, she now considers them dear friends. Her daughter Regina calls her a pillar of the community, someone who radiates positivity and strength.
To have her one more year It's a blessing, it's a gift. And because not all our parents will make it to this age, obviously, but I'm truly blessed and able to have her.
Clara's advice when life gets tough.
The first thing she will tell you when you meet any type of adversity will be just pray, 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 pray.
Administrator Matthew Bain describes her as an active member of the rehab center.
She's a very wonderful woman. She's very inspiring and she's fun to be around. She's an exciting part. She's the kind of person you always want to give a hug to.
Family and friends call Clara a prayer warrior, and they're all hoping to make it back here next year, cheering her on as she turns 97. Ray Mosley, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
The time is now, let's get a look at our clock up here. It's just about 6:47 on our Tuesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, the space race is heating up again, but this time it's on a whole new level. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Ava. Happy 15th birthday to my beautiful daughter. You are a true light in my life, kind, strong, joyful, and full of purpose. Watching you grow has been an incredible blessing. I'm so proud of the young woman you're becoming and excited to see all that God has in store for you. Keep shining, keep believing, and always remember how deeply you are loved. Happy birthday, sweet girl. We love you from Mom and Ananias.
Oh, what a sweet birthday message. Happy birthday, Ava. And also happy birthday to Kevin. Happy birthday, brother Kevin, from sister Juanita Rocha and brother JJ. We love you.
And happy birthday to James Gunn, the director of blockbuster superhero movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, The Suicide Squad, and most recently Superman, is 59.
That's right. Happy birthday, James Gunn. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
All right, the time is now 6:48 on our Tuesday morning. You know, that Superman movie would be really great to see on a hot day because there is a lot of ice.
That's right.
A lot of ice in that movie.
That's right.
So happy birthday if you're celebrating one today. Maybe you're going to go to the movies.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I'm sure a lot of y'all saw the 7-day forecast a few moments ago, and you saw all sorts of sunshine for the next several days and all sorts of temperatures that will be on the slow and steady rise as we go until later this week. Now, it's going to be due to a couple factors, and a couple of these factors are actually going to be important because it may bring about tropical activity. We're going to look at that in a second. Because our factors bringing back the heat, it's going to be high pressure. We're used to talking about this every single summer because all that high pressure does is that it sinks air underneath that, and then it expands the air, so it becomes more energetic, more heat. And that's exactly what's coming our way. Upper level high pressure centered over New Mexico right now is going to slowly start sliding and expanding into westward Texas. And that will bring our highs in the Crossroads back in the upper 90s with some of us in the low 100s. So please stay safe in the heat. But if I press play a little bit further, you're going to see way over the Atlantic, there is another high pressure system that's going to form. This is called a subtropical high pressure system. And that may bring us some tropical activity because you see this question mark right here. It's going to move right into the Gulf with winds around this clockwise. So that kind of slingshots it westward into the Gulf. And right now we're still watching not one, not two, not three, but 4 tropical waves out there. 2 of them right now still over Africa. 1 of them right here are going to go out into the mid-Atlantic with that one. But this one's going to be the one we're going to watch over the next several days because it might split into 2. One of them going into the deep Atlantic and the other maybe into the Gulf. We'll look at that later this week and more later on Sunrise.
The White House is looking to establish a presence on the moon, but where would the power come from? Here's ABC's Andrew Dimbert.
The space race is back, and this time it's nuclear.
Get off the nuclear warhead.
But not like that. Acting NASA Administrator Sean Duffy is set to announce the agency is fast-tracking plans to build a nuclear reactor on the moon. Documents obtained by Politico reveal NASA will solicit proposals for a 100-kilowatt nuclear reactor that would launch to the lunar surface by 2030.
And we're going back to the moon in order to learn to live, to work, to survive.
NASA has made returning to the moon and establishing a lasting human presence there a top priority. Power is key to building bases, supporting crews, and staying long term. And with 14 days of darkness on the moon each month, solar power won't cut it. So the race is on to be the first to bring power to the moon. The directive warning if other countries manage to build a reactor first, they could declare a keep-out zone, which would significantly inhibit the United States. China and Russia currently have a joint plan to bring a reactor to the moon by 2035. A senior NASA official saying it is about winning the second space race. The UK is already working on its own lunar reactor, partnering with Rolls-Royce to build a miniaturized system that could support humans on the moon.
It's a very small reactor that we can absolutely launch into space, so it's about the size of a car, and it allows us to give continuous energy and electricity. When you've got the sun, you can use solar, but if you want to explore the dark side of the moon and go around the other side, actually you're going to need something else, so the nuclear power allows you to do that.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A country steps in with aid during a crisis and tensions rise over access issues. Canada has delivered humanitarian aid to Gaza residents. The Canadian government says its military used cargo planes to drop more than 21,000 pounds of aid. It also slammed Israel for obstructing aid. Canada's government said the obstruction is a violation of international humanitarian law. It said it will intensify efforts with international partners to get more aid to Gaza. Attorney General Pam Bondi has ordered federal prosecutors to begin a grand jury investigation into what President Donald Trump has called the Russia hoax. Bondi alleges members of the Obama administration made up intelligence about Russia's 2016 election interference by falsely claiming Trump's campaign was colluding with the Russian government. A grand jury, if convened, could issue subpoenas as part of a criminal investigation. Lawmakers in the Texas House and Senate introduced similar bills to scrap the state's standardized test. Both bills would replace STAR, with 3 shorter tests to be administered at the beginning, middle, and end of the school year. You can read this story by the Texas Tribune on crossroadstoday.com. And we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, and Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now let's get a look at our forecast with Parker. Parker, is there anything to kind of put us in a good mood weather-wise?
Yes, we do. Actually, I have something for you this morning. Look at our sunrise. We got a nice, pretty sunrise on the Victoria camera this morning. Got a little bit, it looks like it's got some green in there, actually. If you look really closely, it looks like that actually is kind of green right about there, but got some pink, yellow, purple, very pretty colors this morning with that sunrise. And if you're headed out the door to go maybe see that sunrise, just be careful. There might be a little bit of light patchy fog trying to form around the area because the temperatures are still technically very slowly falling down into that dew point, bringing us higher and higher humidity for the rest of the morning before that sun officially comes up over the horizon. But once it comes up, it's going to be another hot one today. Not super hot, but we're looking for a high of 94 in Port Lavaca. But we'll also have another 30% chance, 30 between 1, maybe 2 p.m. for Highway 59 counties and southward towards the coast. Let me say that as well. That's where our rain chances are going to be. But from 2 p.m. all the way to about 6, maybe 7 p.m., that's going to be our best shot for the rain today. Same thing Victoria, because we're in Highway 59 counties. High of 95 today, 59. Can you imagine that? High of 95 today in Cuero. So pretty much the exact same thing, but northern counties, you are going to be a little bit less so on the rain chances today at about maybe 20 to 30% because you are going to be north of 95. But for the rest of this week, the rain chances are back down to 10 to 20% with high pressure taking over. And that's going to bring our highs for the rest of the week back in the upper 90s underneath that beaming Texas sunshine.
All right, Parker, thank you so much. And thank y'all for being with us this Tuesday morning. Be sure to join Shauna, Dawn, Maclovia, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Make it a great Tuesday.